Most people believe that the one who tries the hardest wins, that control comes from effort, from pushing, from holding on tightly. But here is a truth that changes everything. The one who cares less often holds the real power, not because they are cold or distant, but because they are calm, centered, and no longer chasing. When you stop running after things, something shifts. Life begins to move toward you instead. Chasing creates tension. You can feel it in your body, in your thoughts, in your breath. It's that tight feeling in the chest, the constant thinking, the quiet fear of, what if it doesn't work out? But attraction works differently. Attraction is quiet. It is relaxed. It does not rush or beg. It trusts. The moment you loosen your grip, you create space. And space is where change happens. Space is where answers arrive. Space is where life can finally reach you. When you stop trying to control every outcome, you allow something deeper to take over. You allow life to do what it has always known how to do. There is a strange kind of freedom that comes when you realize you don't have to force anything. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to convince life to give you what you want. What is meant for you responds to calm confidence, not desperation. This is where real power begins. Not in pushing harder, but in softening. Not in chasing, but in allowing. When you care less in the sense of letting go of fear, you gain more control over your inner world. And once your inner world is steady, the outer world begins to follow. Control is often misunderstood. Many people think control means managing every detail, planning every step, and making sure nothing goes wrong. But this kind of control is exhausting. It keeps your mind busy and your heart tight. It creates the feeling that if you stop trying, everything will fall apart. True control does not feel like tension. It feels like calm. It feels like being rooted, steady, and unshaken, even when things around you change. When you are calm, you respond instead of react. When you are calm, you see clearly. When you are calm, you are not easily pulled by fear. Less effort does not mean less care for your life. It means less fear around outcomes. It means you stop tying your peace to results you cannot fully control. You still take action, but your actions come from clarity, not panic. You move, but you are not rushing. You speak, but you are not forcing. Think about how much energy is spent worrying, replaying conversations, imagining worst outcomes, trying to control what others think or do. All of that effort rarely brings peace. In fact, it often pushes peace further away. When you release the need to control everything, your energy changes. You become lighter. Your thoughts slow down. Your body relaxes. And from that place, you make better choices. You attract better situations. You stop reacting to every small thing and start responding with intention. There is strength in not needing to prove anything. There is confidence in not needing immediate results. When you stop chasing validation, approval, or certainty, you stand in your own power. You are no longer moved by every wave. You become the calm in the middle of it. Less effort allows life to meet you halfway. More control comes from trusting yourself and trusting the process. When you are calm, you are not easily shaken. And when you are not shaken, you naturally lead your life instead of fighting it. Chasing often comes from fear, fear of loss, fear of being left behind, fear of not being enough. When fear is in charge, your energy becomes tight and heavy, and life responds to energy more than words. When you chase something, you send a quiet message that you don't trust it will come on its own. You send the message that you are lacking, that something is missing. This energy creates resistance. It pushes instead of pulls. Think of holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you open your hand, the sand stays. Life works the same way. The more you try to force it, the more it resists. Chasing keeps you focused on what you don't have. Attraction focuses on what you already carry within you. Calm, trust, openness. When your mind is full of worry and control, there is no room for ease. There is no room for surprises. There is no room for grace. Many people believe that if they stop chasing, they will miss out. But the opposite is often true. When you stop chasing, you start noticing. You notice opportunities you were too busy to see. You notice answers that were always there. You notice that life begins to respond differently to you. Fear creates noise. Calm creates clarity. When you are calm, you listen better. You feel when to move and when to wait. You don't push against closed doors. You sense when something is not aligned and you let it go without forcing it to stay. Chasing also places your power outside of you. It makes you feel like your happiness depends on something or someone else. Attraction brings your power back. It reminds you that your state of being matters more than external control. When you stop chasing, you are not giving up. You are choosing trust over fear. You are choosing flow over force. And in that choice, life begins to move with you instead of against you. You don't need to run after what belongs to you. What is meant for you responds to calm presence. It comes closer when you stop pushing and start allowing. There are moments when life feels confusing. Things do not move as expected. Plans fall apart. Answers do not arrive on time. In those moments, the mind quickly assumes that something is wrong, that life is against you, that you missed something or failed in some way. But very often, nothing is wrong at all. Life does not always explain itself in real time. From where you stand, you only see a small part of the picture. You see delays, silence, and uncertainty. But what you cannot see is how many things are already moving quietly in your favor. How many pieces are shifting behind the scenes. How much is being arranged without your effort. Trust begins when you stop arguing with the present moment, when you stop asking, "Why is this happening?" and gently shift to, "What is this preparing me for?" That single change softens the heart. It opens the mind. It creates peace where there was resistance. Many times things fall apart because they no longer fit the life you are growing into. Some paths close because they would have limited you. Some doors stay shut because what is coming needs more space, more strength, more clarity from you. Life is not removing things to punish you. it is making room. When you trust that life is already working, you stop seeing uncertainty as danger. You begin to see it as a pause, a breath, a space where something new can form. You don't rush to fix everything. You allow things to settle. You let clarity rise naturally. There is deep peace in accepting that you do not need to understand everything right now. You don't need to have the full plan. You don't need to know how it will all work out. You only need to stay open. Life moves through openness much more easily than through resistance. The moment you trust that life is not against you, your body relaxes, your thoughts slow down, you stop fighting invisible battles, and in that calm state, you begin to notice signs of support that were always there. Control often feels like safety. It feels like if you can just manage everything carefully enough, nothing will hurt you, but control is heavy. It asks you to carry responsibilities that were never meant to be yours. It keeps your mind tense and your heart guarded. Letting go does not mean you stop caring about your life. It means you stop carrying fear everywhere you go. It means you trust that not everything needs your constant attention. Some things unfold best when you stop watching them so closely. Peace enters when you release the need to control every outcome, when you allow things to be uncertain without turning that uncertainty into panic, when you remind yourself that you have handled challenges before, even when you didn't know how at the beginning. Many people hold on because they are afraid that if they let go, everything will collapse. But most of the time, the opposite happens. Things settle, they rearrange, they fall into places that make more sense. What felt unstable becomes clear once the struggle stops. Control keeps you stuck in your head. Letting go brings you back into your body, into the present moment. You breathe deeper. You feel grounded. You stop chasing solutions and start receiving insight. There is wisdom in knowing when to step back, in knowing when effort no longer serves you, in understanding that some answers arrive only after you stop forcing the question. When you release control, you are not abandoning your life. You are trusting it. You are saying, I don't need to carry everything alone. And that trust creates a softness that allows peace to stay. Waiting can feel uncomfortable. It can make you doubt yourself. It can make you wonder if you are behind, if you are missing your moment, if life forgot about you. But timing is not random. It is not careless. It is precise. What feels like delay is often preparation. Life does not rush what needs depth. It does not hurry what needs strength. Sometimes you are being shaped quietly, so that when the moment arrives, you can receive it without fear. Nothing that belongs to you can pass you by. If something is truly meant for you, it will find you when you are ready to hold it with clarity and peace. Not when you are desperate, not when you are unsure, but when you can meet it with steadiness. Many things arrive late only because you would not have been able to keep them earlier. You were still learning, still growing, still becoming the person who could handle them well. When you trust timing, impatience softens. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop measuring your progress against someone else's clock. You begin to respect your own rhythm. Life moves with intelligence. It opens doors when you can walk through them fully. It protects you from what would overwhelm you too soon, and it delivers what is meant for you when your heart is open enough to receive it. Timing is not working against you, it is working for you, and the more you trust that, the lighter waiting becomes. Attraction does not begin with action. It begins with inner calm, the sky. You live in quietly shapes what comes toward you. When your inner world is rushed, worried, and tense, life feels the same. When your inner world is calm, steady, and open, life begins to respond differently. Calm is not doing nothing. Calm is being settled inside yourself. It is knowing that you do not need to chase every outcome to be okay. When you are calm, you are not desperate for results. You are present, and presence is powerful. Your energy speaks before your words do. If your energy is tight with fear, it sends a message of lack. If your energy is relaxed, it sends a message of trust. Life listens to that message. Opportunities respond to that frequency. When you are calm, you think clearly, you choose better. You notice what feels right and what doesn't. You stop forcing situations that are not aligned. You allow things that flow naturally to stay. Many people try to attract better situations while staying in constant worry, but worry blocks attraction. Calm opens it. Calm says, I trust myself. I trust life. I am not in a hurry, and that calm becomes magnetic. You don't need to convince life to give you more. You only need to create space for it. Calm creates that space. It allows things to arrive without struggle. It allows support to show up without effort. When you live from inner calm, life begins to meet you there. You stop pushing, you stop chasing, and suddenly things start coming to you. Imagine standing still, no rush, no pressure. You are holding on to worries that feel heavy. You have been carrying them for a long time. You may not even realize how much energy they take from you. Now imagine placing those worries down, one by one. You don't analyze them. You don't fix them. You simply release them. And as you do, your body begins to soften, your breath becomes deeper, your shoulders relax. You are no longer pushing forward, you are allowing yourself to be supported. You realize you don't have to swim against the current. You can float, you can rest. Floating does not mean giving up, it means trusting the direction of life. It means allowing yourself to be carried instead of forcing every step. You are safe here, supported, held. As you float, your thoughts slow. The noise fades. You don't need answers right now. You don't need control. You only need to stay open. And in that openness, peace spreads through you. This is what surrender feels like. Light, calm, gentle. It reminds you that life knows how to guide you, even when you are unsure. Life becomes simpler when you stop chasing. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop rushing your growth. You stop measuring your worth by how fast things happen. Without chasing, you listen more, you feel more, you trust your instincts, you let things unfold instead of forcing them into shape. And in that flow, you feel less resistance. You begin to notice small moments of ease, conversations that feel natural, decisions that feel clear, opportunities that come without struggle. These are signs that you are aligned, not pushing. Living without chasing does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what feels right without fear, driving your actions. It means allowing rest, allowing pauses, allowing life to move at its own pace. When you stop chasing, you stop exhausting yourself. You save energy, you become more present, and presence allows joy to exist in small moments, not just in future goals. Growth does not need to be rushed. Everything unfolds in its own time. And when you respect that timing, life feels kinder. There is a deep peace in knowing that you are not behind, that you have not missed your moment, that life is not testing you or withholding from you, it is guiding you. You don't need to know every step ahead. You don't need to control the outcome. You only need to stay open, calm, and willing to trust. Life responds to that state with ease. When you stop chasing, you stop fighting yourself. You begin to attract what aligns with who you are becoming, not through force, but through presence. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to trust. You are allowed to let life meet you halfway. Everything unfolds best when you soften instead of push. The moment you stop chasing is the moment life starts moving toward you. Control does not come from effort alone. It comes from inner steadiness, from knowing that you are supported even when you cannot see the full picture. When you care less in the sense of releasing fear, you gain clarity, you gain peace, you gain alignment, and from that place, attraction becomes natural. Life does not need to be forced, it needs to be trusted. When you trust, you allow. When you allow, you receive. And when you receive, you realize that everything you were searching for was always finding its way to you.